The markets are telling us that what the government is doing with our debt should make us really scared. Digital assets are good for diversification because they are not linked to each other. You can now own crypto as an object. It is going to be next year. It will never end. Coins are leaving platforms at a rate we've never seen before. For years, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been leaving platforms. It's real. Still, this is one of the biggest drops we've ever seen. Why? We do know that crypto rules are becoming less strict in the US. Crypto is now a big topic in the campaign. That's the real reason why this is happening. What do you know? In 11 months, this will only get more exciting. A lot of people don't understand how close we are to one of the craziest cycles ever. Mike Novogratz, a billionaire investor and founder of Galaxy Digital, talks about why the crypto markets are stronger than ever. Around $58 billion is being managed across all of these funds 5 months after the spot Bitcoin ETFs launched. But my question is more about the interest of the institutions. So I looked through all of those 13F files to see which banks were now exposed to Bitcoin through this spot ETF. It's not a lot either. Morgan Stanley, $270 million. Not all banks are at risk, and the ones that do say that this is more because their wealthy clients want it than because the bank recommends the asset. But you probably won't find many banks that list Bitcoin or Google stock on their books. Listen up, we can see moving. Crypto prices are moving close to all-time highs, which is a big jump from 3 months ago. That's even though interest rates aren't helping us, right? We thought the Fed would cut 5 or 6 times at first. They don't look like they were cut at all now. Because of this change in attitude, the crypto markets are strong. You can now own crypto as an object. It is going to be next year. It will never end. It wasn't like that 2 years ago. The asset class used to have some risk, but now it doesn't. This means that every day, a salesperson from Morgan Stanley calls one of his wealthy clients and tries to sell them cryptocurrency. Price increases will happen as long as the government keeps bending the rules. A steady flow of money will come into this place. By the way, this is exactly what Bitcoin analyst Brandon Green told us in a new interview that came out yesterday. This is what I think will happen. No changes have been made to monetary policy. Things are still very tight, but they're also at an all-time high. There will be less strict money management in the US over the next few months, especially before the election for president. There will be pressure on the government to print more money, which will boost the stock market and make everyone feel rich again. Bitcoin will go through a huge change because of that, and it will reach crazy highs. So Bitcoin is going up and down right now. I'm waiting for a $73,000 surge. That's when I think Bitcoin will really take it to the next level. The herd is coming. It needs time. Mike Novogratz talks about it. It's been said that the herd is coming. That was your motto a few years ago. More schools have joined the group. You're from Goldman, after all. There are a lot of big people in the TradFi world that you work with. What is the feeling? What are they not saying in public? But they think they are still waiting for Congress to back them up with a bill like that. 21 through an infrastructure to a market infrastructure bill that makes things clear for them. Big banks like JP Morgan and Goldman don't want to risk their good name on a new technology that doesn't have clear rules yet. So if SAB 120 goes away, places like Bank of New York and State Street will be taken over. Those places will feel better after that. But Congress, the SEC, and the Fed all need to agree with us. After that, a bunch of those guys will rush into our space. Going into business will be harder because there will be a lot more competition, but it will also bring in a lot of good things. That's why crypto is risky right now, but so is every market. Because of this, you should keep Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This is exactly what Mark Yusko of Morgan Creek Digital says. It's interesting that people are afraid of volatility. But change is good for you. You want to have volatile assets that are not linked to each other. This is because volatility means that people have different ideas about how a company will do in the future. Please come hang out with us at the Bitcoin Conference Nashville. Use the code ALTCOINDAILY to get 10% off your ticket. The description has a link and more information. I hope to see you there. From Mark Yusko's point of view, the best things to do here are digital assets, cash, and gold. This is why you should have some cash and crypto over the next 11 to 12 months. For the next 12 months, you believe that digital assets, cash, and gold are the best choices. What does that tell us about how you think the markets will do? You can choose to have cash, right? It's something that earns you about 5% while you wait. When things go on sale, you can buy them with this money. 2 things that people do really, really well. We sell things we're about to need and buy things we wish we had bought. Commodities as a whole are at their lowest price to paper assets ever, even though they're setting new highs every day. And paper wins the game for kids. In real life, though, rock is stronger than paper. That's why we like goods. You already know how I feel about modern things. I believe that everyone should have some digital goods in their portfolio. They help with diversification because they aren't linked to traditional financial assets and get their value from different sources. One more question, Mark. As more ETFs are accepted, do you think that the price changes of digital assets will become less volatile? Once more, really good point. Of course. Think about the $58 billion that is coming into this space in what they call the boomer wrapper. This money is mostly from retail and advice clients. That way you don't have to deal with tools. Software is not your problem. You don't have to deal with putting yourself in jail. A stock exchange fund ETF is bought the same way you buy any other stock, from $58 billion now. I think that number will rise to $300 billion in the next 2 years. I think that will make things less volatile. It makes me think that prices will go up a lot. You're a macro guy, that's all. You said that it doesn't look like interest rates will be lowered this year. Have you thought about any kind of, listen, we might cut rates in September if growth suddenly slows down and prices start to rise? We won't get the 5, 6, or 7 cuts, though. To answer your question, Bitcoin used to closely watch those choices, but now they've gotten away from that shot. But it's the same with gold and silver. You know what the markets are telling us? We should be very afraid of what the government is doing with our debt. At the moment, we owe $36 trillion, and every 100 days, we borrow an extra $1 trillion. If you work on Wall Street or are Stan Druckham or Ray Dalio, that's what this country is all about. No one will talk about it during an election year. But we've had a populist president on the right and a populist president on the left. His name is now on the list. That is why populism is bad for, managing money. Populism blows money, and things like Bitcoin will go up in value when you spend that much. I'm not sure how much more clear I can be. Crypto will really heat up as this election year goes on, along with everything else. So make sure you're signed up. Now is the time to learn even more and become even more aware. Recently, we did some interviews for Extra Alpha. You can also watch any of our movies from the last 6 months. I like the movie. Listen to Mike Novogratz talk about how he thinks the end of the year will be good for stocks. I'll see you tomorrow. Needs for the end of the year. Oh, so this bill is going to become law? Will there be a change in the White House? Are we going to see Gensler? Gensler is probably going to leave at the end of the year or the start of next year, no matter what. It's likely that the area has been treated well at the SEC if Biden or Trump wins. I believe that we will go to sleep on election night not knowing who will win. Am I right? There are 6, 7, or 8 swing states. Right now, they will all be close. All of them are moving toward Trump. However, keep in mind that the last few months have been a long time. In those states, both parties spend a lot of money trying to get independent votes. And I'm sure it will be one of those. It's crazy that we still don't know who will win before going to bed. I believe that the price of cryptocurrencies will rise. There is a 50/40 chance that we will get laws this year. You will need to have the Senate put together its other side. Don't forget that the Senate makes rules, not the House. Because of this, they pay more attention